Let's get straight to the point. Number 8. Taxes, the subscription you never signed up for. Congratulations, you just got your first paycheck. You're dreaming of high-end sneakers and expensive dinners. But then you open the envelope and see it. A massive chunk of your hard-earned cash has vanished. Welcome to the Adulting Subscription Service, also known as taxes. It's the only club where the membership fee is mandatory, the benefits are sometimes questionable, and the cancellation policy is literally go to jail. Scientifically, taxes are the fuel for the machinery of the state. Without them, your commute would involve off-roading through a forest, and your local fire department would just be a guy with a bucket and a good luck sign. Think of the government as a giant, hungry roommate who eats 30% of your pizza but occasionally fixes the Wi-Fi and keeps the roof from caving in. You pay for the military, the roads, and even the research that probably created the device you're using to ignore this video right now. It's frustrating, sure, but unless you plan on moving to a deserted island and defending it with a sharpened coconut, you're stuck paying up. It's the price we pay for a society that doesn't look like a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. Just remember, even the Joker was afraid of the IRS, and honestly, can you blame him?
Number 7. Banks, the professional middlemen. Think your money is sitting in a vault, safely tucked away like a dragon's gold pile while you sleep? That's adorable. In reality, the moment you deposit your cash, the bank treats it like a hot potato and tosses it to someone else. This is fractional reserve banking, a fancy term for a system where banks are legally required to keep only about 10% of your money on hand. The rest, it's out there funding your neighbor's questionable jet ski purchase or a local bakery's gluten-free cupcake empire. Scientifically, banks act as financial intermediaries, which is just a polite way of saying they take your money, pay you 0.01% interest, basically a polite pat on the head, and then lend it to others at 7% or higher. They're essentially professional scalpers of capital. If every single person tried to withdraw their money at once, the whole system would collapse like a cheap card table, a bank run that would make the Great Depression look like a minor glitch. It's a giant game of musical chairs played with trillions of dollars, and the bank owns all the chairs. You give them your money for security, and they use it to make sure their CEO's yacht has a smaller yacht inside of it. It's a brilliant business model. They gamble with your chips and keep almost all the winnings, while charging you a maintenance fee for the privilege.
Number 6. Interest, the rent your money charges for living. Imagine you're a landlord, but instead of renting out a dusty apartment with a leaky faucet, you're renting out your cold, hard cash. That is interest in a nutshell, the price of time. Scientifically, it is the compensation for the opportunity cost and risk the lender takes. When you save, the bank pays you interest, a tiny microscopic thank you note. But when you borrow, interest becomes a relentless monster that never sleeps, never eats, and certainly never feels bad for your bank account. It's calculated using the formula A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT, where compound interest turns your debt into a snowball rolling down Mount Everest. Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, noting that those who understand it earn it, those who don't pay it. If you have a credit card balance, you aren't just paying for that overpriced avocado toast, you're paying for the privilege of having had that toast 3 months ago. It's basically a patience tax. The longer you wait to pay, the more the interest clones itself, creating new little debt babies that grow up and start demanding their own rent. It's the closest thing we have to real-life magic, except the kind of magic that can either buy you a private island or leave you living in a cardboard box under a bridge. It is the silent engine of the global economy, making sure that later is always more expensive than now.
Number 5. Inflation, the invisible thief in your wallet. Have you ever noticed that a candy bar used to cost 50 cents and now requires a small personal loan? That isn't just you getting older and grumpier, it's inflation, the economic equivalent of a slow-motion heist. Scientifically, inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services rises, subsequently causing purchasing power to fall. It's usually measured by the Consumer Price Index, CPI, which tracks a basket of goods that regular humans buy. Essentially, if the government prints too much money, or too much money chases too few goods, your dollars start to lose their oomph. It's like pouring water into a fine glass of whiskey. You still have a full glass, but it definitely doesn't hit the same way anymore. Central banks aim for a sweet spot of about 2% inflation because apparently if prices didn't go up, we'd all stop spending and the economy would die of boredom. But for you, it means the $100 hidden under your mattress is slowly rotting away. In 10 years, that 100 might only buy you a fancy sandwich and a shrug. It is the silent tax that nobody votes for, but everyone pays. While you're working harder to earn more, the value of what you've already earned is quietly evaporating into the atmosphere like a puddle in the sun. It's the ultimate gaslighting. You have the same number of bills, but they just don't work as hard as they used to. Number 4. Recessions, the economy's massive hangover. A recession is basically what happens when the global economy decides it's had too much growth juice and needs to lie down in a dark room with a cold compress. Scientifically, it is defined as a significant decline in economic activity spread across the market, lasting more than a few months, traditionally marked by 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. Think of the economy as a giant, hyperactive toddler. For years, it's been running around, building block towers and screaming with joy. Then, suddenly, it hits a wall, starts crying, and refuses to move. This is when businesses get efficient, which is corporate speak for firing people, and everyone stops buying that artisanal, handcrafted beard oil they definitely didn't need. It's a vicious cycle. People lose jobs, so they spend less. Because they spend less, businesses earn less. Because businesses earn less, they fire more people. It's a downward spiral that makes a World's Funniest Home Videos fail compilation look like a triumph of human achievement. Economists use the yield curve to predict these crashes. When long-term interest rates drop below short-term ones, it's the financial equivalent of hearing, "We need to talk," from your partner. It's painful, it's messy, and it usually ends with the government throwing trillions of dollars at the problem like they're trying to put out a forest fire with a fleet of money-filled helicopters. Number 3. Credit scores, your adult permanent record. Remember when your middle school teacher threatened that your permanent record would follow you forever? They were lying about your detention for throwing tater tots, but they accidentally described your credit score perfectly. This 3-digit number, usually ranging from 300 to 850, is essentially a trustworthiness quotient, calculated by mysterious algorithms at companies like FICO. Scientifically, it is a statistical analysis of your credit worthiness based on your credit files. It's like a giant invisible grade that determines if you're allowed to have nice things. Want a house? Show us the score. Want a car that doesn't make a clunk sound? Score, please. Even some employers check it to see if you're a functional human being. If you pay your bills on time, the number goes up by a measly 2 points. If you forget one payment because you were distracted by a cat video, it plunges like a lead balloon. It's the ultimate "he's making a list, checking it twice" system, but instead of Santa, it's a group of soulless servers in a data center. Your score is built on payment history, debt amounts, and the length of your credit history. It is a game where the rules are semi-secret, the stakes are your entire future, and the referees are billionaires you'll never meet. It's basically a high-stakes popularity contest for your wallet, and if you aren't popular, you're sitting at the high interest rate table with the people who still use AOL email addresses. Number 2. Currency. The world's most successful make-believe. Money is the ultimate collective hallucination. Scientifically, most modern money is fiat currency, a Latin term meaning "let it be done." It has no intrinsic value. You can't eat a $20 bill, and it won't keep you warm at night unless you have enough of it to start a very expensive campfire. Historically, we used gold or silver, things with actual physical limits, but today, currency is backed by nothing but the full faith and credit of a government. It's essentially a giant national pinky promise. If everyone woke up tomorrow and decided that green paper was just fancy kindling, the global economy would vanish faster than a magician's rabbit. We've moved from bartering goats for grain to swiping plastic rectangles and tapping glowing glass screens. It's a system built entirely on trust and the shared agreement that this specific piece of paper is worth exactly 12 tacos. In the digital age, most money doesn't even exist as paper. It's just ones and zeros sitting on a server, waiting for you to tell them where to go. It's a fascinating psychological trick. We spend 40 hours a week chasing numbers so we can exchange them for stuff before the numbers lose their meaning. It is the glue that holds civilization together, yet it's as fragile as a rumor. Without this shared myth, we'd be back to trading seashells and hoping the other guy really needs a slightly used pair of sandals. It's the most powerful story ever told. Number 1. Investing. Planting trees for a future you. If inflation is the thief and debt is the fire, then investing is the garden where you grow your escape plan. Scientifically, investing is the act of allocating resources, usually capital, with the expectation of generating an income or profit. It's the difference between working for your money and making your money work for you while you're busy napping or arguing with strangers on the internet. You have 3 main playgrounds: stocks, owning a tiny slice of a company; bonds, loaning money to the government so they can build more roads; and real estate, buying dirt and hoping it becomes more expensive dirt. The secret sauce here is compound interest, which we already discussed, but this time it's working for you. If you start early, your money begins to reproduce at an exponential rate. However, don't get it twisted. The market isn't a magical ATM. It's a chaotic, emotional beast influenced by everything from global pandemics to a billionaire's late-night tweet about a dog-themed coin. You are essentially betting on the collective productivity of the human race. If you're right, you get to retire with a golden parachute. If the world ends, well, your portfolio will be the least of your concerns. It requires the one thing humans are historically terrible at: patience. You aren't looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. You're looking for a don't-be-broke-when-you're-70 strategy. It's the ultimate long game, where the only way to lose is to not play at all. If you finally understand why your wallet is crying, do the digital chores. Like, share, and subscribe. We drop daily truth bombs to help you survive this financial dumpster fire. Support Coolest Dude Explains before inflation eats this channel too. See you tomorrow, unless the economy collapses first.